Hey guys, you're watching Tech Radar. My name is Basil and this is the Samsung Flip. Other way. Flip by name, flip by nature. It is a huge 4K display that enables pen and touch control in order to maximize creativity in meetings. It's got a quad-core processor inside, as well as, like I said, touch sensitivity and all the ports you could want. This thing is giant. It is a B2B device, but even from a consumer point of view, it looks and functions in a really, really cool way that I think everybody can geek out over. So kicking off, you've got this giant display. 4K means it is pin sharp. Like I'm looking closely, I cannot see a single pixel. You've got pen input. This pen has two sides. You've got a blunt side and a sharper side. The sharp side is the primary input tool. The blunt side is the secondary input tool. You can long press in order to change the color. You can change your thickness in the settings. Talking around the user interface, and this runs Tizen, and it is a very stripped back user interface. It's simple. Press import, tap through on whatever you're trying to import your content from, mobile, laptop, USB or network drive, or you can export your content, and it's really just one or two options each way. Tap through on mobile and I can connect from a Samsung device like it prompts me to there, or from even a Huawei device or any device that supports mirror cast, so mirror share on the Huawei devices. Press through on it and it should look for the Samsung Flip. Flip this around, flip this into landscape, and you can see there is no touch interactivity. It is all done through here, but that is actually kind of cool if you're all sat in a meeting room and you want to push stuff for your colleagues to see from your smartphone, whether it's a presentation or whether it is a document or video. This thing has speakers as well, so it'll actually be able to play back your video complete with sound. Don't believe me? Let's open YouTube quickly and we can play back this and you can hear Gerald. This is operating via Wi-Fi direct, so it is not requiring the Flip to have an internet connection. It is relying entirely on the internet connection of the phone itself. So like I said, the user interface runs Tizen. It is a really neat tool, and you might, if you've seen my Samsung Galaxy Note speed sketching video, think to yourself, whoa, this must be a really great artist's tool. No, it isn't. In fact, it's a pretty terrible artist's tool because there's no pressure sensitivity. The pen interaction is precise enough based on what's going on screen, but you're looking at a pretty blunt tool when it comes to precision. Probably wouldn't recommend this for a creative agency that wanted to export stuff from here and use it in Photoshop or whatever. But it does still have a lot of cool tools for annotation of things. So it's connected to the P20 Pro. I can fire up my screen. It's fired up there. I can actually take a screenshot of the P20 Pro. Oh, there you go. And I can exit the connection. So it's disconnected from that Mirrorcast technology, but I can still annotate the screenshot, move it around and place it somewhere within my user interface. And for example, sharing content and drawing over it from a phone would be really nice and snappy. Scanning through here, you can see a document that I made earlier. You've got in this UI multiple pages that you can just swipe through. It works well for someone. My height is 6'4", and that should give you an idea as to how big this is. I tend to operate in the top half of the screen, but for me, when it is in landscape, I have to bend down a little bit, which is probably going to benefit most other people. I'm not entirely sure if you can bring it up or bring it down, but if you can, that would be very cool. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm impressed. I managed to do a pretty nice mind map. I was got used to it very quickly. I've also managed to do a quick storyboard for this video that I'm doing now, and I've also managed to doodle a little bit. In terms of the connectivity features, HDMI around the back as well as USB. It has a LAN in as well as Wi-Fi as well, so it can connect to the internet any which way. There is an NFC point down the side, an area that I can just dock the pen in. NFC point is going to activate the Samsung phone to fire its screen content onto the Flip. Now, in terms of pros and cons, I like the size. I like having something so big. There have been studies that show that when you write, you engage a different part of your brain. When you physically move, you engage a different part of your brain to when you're just sitting down typing. So it feels like a more immersive experience, which I imagine could work really well for a creative agency. The screen sharing functionality, as you saw demonstrated, is just a piece of cake. It is super quick and simple. And HDMI and USB connections are great like fallbacks if the wireless functionality for whatever reason doesn't work, even though it's worked really nicely for me. I do feel like the UI is oversimplified. There is a missed trick here. The fact it runs Tizen and not Android means you can only get so much out of this thing. Having Android app support on this would have been amazing, but I get it. Samsung didn't want to turn this into a smart TV, and it definitely isn't. You've also got no pressure sensitivity, so any creative agencies, you'll definitely not want to opt for this as a production tool, and there is no optical character recognition, so it's not going to be able to recognize text. But if you export as a PDF software generally will be able to do that kind of stuff, and it's really easy to export. Like I said, just tap through on export, email, print, USB, or indeed straight through to a network drive. So after about 2 hours with this thing, I wouldn't buy one myself, but I could definitely see the value of having one in a creative agency. Hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was a little bit more B2B related than usual. You still found it interesting that we showcased some cool tech. If you did, techradar.com is where you can find plenty of other cool technology. Thanks for watching.